Hey guys, what's going on? So I got a few messages from people asking me how I stow and deploy my trolling motor from the cockpit of my Solo Skiff, and so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that for you guys right now. Just to note, first and foremost, I have a MinnKota 55-pound riptide saltwater model with a 48-inch shaft, and I cut the shaft down 14 inches to about 34 inches. So that's the model I have, and it's mounted on a quick release puck. I think the model number for the puck, which is this one right here, is RTA 17 if I'm not mistaken. But I'll go ahead and walk you guys through how I do it. So first I go ahead and I launch my kayak or Solo Skiff into the water. Sorry, so used to being on a kayak. Once it's in the water, I go back to the truck, go grab my trolling motor, right, and then I just drop it on the quick release puck. Once it's on the puck, I plug it in, right, and then I also get my bracket to secure it in place. And then normally I have a pin to lock the bracket in place. I don't have the pin on me right now. Then I'll let you guys get a little closer so you can see this. Then I have two ropes tied to the trolling motor. The first one is a paracord tied to the release lever, and then the second one is actually anchor line tied to the shaft under the trolling motor head. And the reason why I used anchor line because it has a higher weight rating than the paracord. And then I also have two lines running to the cockpit, one for each loop that's tied onto the trolling motor. So I'll go ahead and put those on. So the first one obviously is going to go to the release lever, so I'll put that in. And then the second one is going to go to the shaft of the trolling motor, right? And then those actually, if you can see here, they lead down back to the cockpit, right? And so the one that's on the actual release lever, I ran it through some line guides some cheap line guides that you can get at anywhere, like at Home Depot. And basically I use the existing screws that were already used to mount other hardware on the Solo Skiff. That way I didn't have to drill extra holes. And I was okay with that just because there's not a lot of real tension on the line to pull the release lever. It's pretty light, and so there's not a lot of stress on the line, so I think it's fine. And then the second one is I extended the anchor rope, right? And then I did a uni knot to an actual MinnKota handle, as you can see right there. And then normally I just use my zigzag cleat and my quick release cleat to tie them both, to tie off the actual MinnKota handle, the one that's supporting the weight of the actual trolling motor. All right, so back up here. So when you first start riding on the water to get to your spot, the first thing you're gonna have to do is you can do it at the launch, right? But normally I just do it when I get to the spot, because typically when you get to the spot, the water's pretty calm. So I just crawl up on the bow, and you have to initially kick out the trolling motor with this lever here, right? And so once you've done that, then you can take it from its fully stowed position and let it out, right? And you'll hear it lock in place. So now it's locked in place, and then now you have these two cables that are attached to the trolling motor. Right. And so you're doing your thing fishing, and now you want to move to a new spot, so you want to pull those up, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate how that works. So let me go ahead and sit in the cockpit and I'll show you guys. Alright, so I'm in the cockpit now, and it's time to move to a new spot. Right, so what I do is I go ahead and I grab the release lever line first, and I pull that down. Then I pull the trolling motor up. Keep in mind it doesn't go to the fully stowed position like this, it only goes partially stowed. So what you do is you keep the tension on the line that's pulling it up, and then you wrap it around a zigzag cleat, or whatever you're using to tie it off with, and then it'll stay up there, right? And you can actually, I've driven top speed like this, and the trolling motor does not move it just stays just like that, even in choppy water. So you're okay to ride like that. So I'll go ahead and re-demonstrate that from the seat. So I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see from the seating position how I did that. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, here we go. So right now the trolling motor is in a stowed position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and release it. Right. So I just released my quick cleat. And I'm untying it. Keep in mind, just don't let it go. Just make sure you keep your attention to let the motor go out slowly. And then you'll hear it click into place. And so now it's ready to operate, right? And then so now it's time to pick up and go back to the next spot. So you just pull the lever again, pull the trolling motor, keep the tension on, come through the zigzag cleat. And then for me, I personally have my quick cleat here, and I just drop it in there and it holds it in place. The zigzag cleat takes up most of the resistance, and then the quick cleat just helps out with the rest. And that's pretty much it. I'll give you guys a closer look at the quick cleat. It's basically, I used this on my kayak before for anchoring, but all it is, it has a couple teeth in there, and you know, it just shuts closed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I stow and deploy the trolling motor to ride around in the marsh. And just keep in mind, when you do have this trolling motor set up like this, it does add some weight to the bow. I think it's about 30 pounds. And so when you're in choppier water, it does tend to dip a little more and let more water over. It's not nothing bad or detrimental. It doesn't feel too sketchy or anything. It's more about just when you're riding, it's dipping a little more. And what I've noticed is that instead of me going fast in choppier water, I have to slow down to about 8 miles per hour. But for the most part, I've been able to ride the normal 12 to 14 miles per hour with this on the front, no problem. So if you're interested in something like this, personally for me, I think it's a game changer, because when you get to the marsh in 1 foot of water, you can troll around, not spook fish, and you can sneak up on them without using a lot of power or pushing around, and just work on casting. So yeah, hope you guys like it, and thank you.